Hi, my name is Yilin Miao. Our team name is Down the Rabbit Hole, and our project is a Reddit recommendation system. We are a CSCI 2470 group. We built a deep learning-based recommendation system for Reddit communities utilizing a GNN model. The system is based on a graph neural network architecture called Hint-Sage, and the final recommendations are generated by solving the link prediction problem in the graph neural network. For a given user, we predict the possibilities of whether it is linked to any subreddit nodes in our data. If our GNN model's prediction indicates that there is a linkage between a user and a subreddit, we recommend the subreddit to the user. In order to enhance the model's performance, in other words, get more features, we use a crawler to crawl more features for user nodes and subreddit nodes. Based on the crawled data, we can get MBTI for users and keywords for subreddits using deep learning models. These features will help the GNN model perform better. I will briefly introduce crawler, and Yu will briefly introduce our keyword extraction model. Shuwen will briefly introduce our MBTI classifier, and Yuntian will introduce our GNN model. Okay, for our crawler, we first take a public dataset called subreddit interactions for 25,000 users, and we use a Reddit crawler library called Pro to enhance that dataset. For users, we also get other features such as past posts, so that we can use an MBTI classifier later. For subreddits, we also crawl their descriptions so that we can get their keywords using a fine-tuned BERT later. All of these features will help the final GNN model perform better. Okay, I will hand this over to you.
We included genre as one of the subreddit node features in our graph network, which is obtained by keyword extractions from subreddit descriptions. The image on the left is a word cloud, which gives an overview of the types of genre keywords we extracted from all of our 50K dataset. In order to do this, we used the pre-trained keyword model to extract 5 genre keywords per subreddit description, whose word embeddings have the highest cosine similarity scores, with the embeddings of sentences in the description. Moreover, we tuned diversity-related hyperparameters so that we can observe some relationships among the genres for different subreddit nodes. The screenshot on the right shows some sample subreddits descriptions as well as some genre keywords and cosine similarity scores generated by our model.
We added MBTI categories as one of the user node features because we believe psychological metrics like MBTI can help us better understand interests and personalities of Reddit users. In order to include this feature, we aimed at training an MBTI classifier that can predict Reddit users' MBTI types by inputting their previous posts. At the very beginning, we experimented with several traditional machine learning methods like logistic regression and support vector classifier. Although they didn't work really well, it was a helpful approach for us to gain a basic understanding of the baseline of building such an MBTI classifier. The test accuracy was around 35%. And it could also evaluate whether this feature is applicable to our model. After that, we tried both pre-trained and fine-tuned DistillBERT-based classifiers, and it turns out that fine-tuned classifier performed much better than the pre-trained one, which largely increased our test accuracy to 75%.
I will briefly introduce the model we are using, the results that we achieved, and some ideas that we had in our preliminary research stage. Our data forms a bipartite graph based on a public user interaction dataset. Since we have 2 types of nodes, we adopted Hint-Sage model, which stands for heterogeneous GraphSage, and it is obviously a variation of GraphSage that we are all familiar with. The two important steps of the GNN model is feature aggregation and forward pass with the aggregated features. HinSage has nearly the same formulas as GraphSage, except that to deal with multiple node types, HinSage defines separate trainable weight matrices for every unique tuple of node type, edge type, node type. We used StellarGraph as our GNN framework as it provides an easy-to-use HinSage demo to help us get started with. As shown by the pictures, we successfully trained the model after 50 epochs. We used total commands to measure the activeness of a user in a subreddit community and try to minimize the mean squared error. With our trained model, we are able to output the top K subreddit recommendations for a given user. In our preliminary research stage, we also considered combining knowledge graph with the Reddit interaction data to enrich the graph structure and better leverage the power of GNN. But unfortunately, we are unable to implement this idea due to the time costing, entity alignment, and data balancing issues. We do believe this is an interesting topic to research on, and we will try to implement this idea in our future work. So to summarize, we built a crawler using Reddit's PRAW API to gather the potential features. We trained a keyword extractor using keyBERT. We trained a MBTI classifier using DistillBERT. We then trained a GNN model using HinSage to perform the recommendations. And that is the end of this video. A very special thanks from our team to the TAs and Professor Chen's great teaching and help for this semester. Hope you enjoyed our project.